Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Got some interesting things to cover for you guys in today's video, some good news, so I want to get into this with you. I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let's jump into it. Alright, today we're going to be covering some different things in the crypto markets. Just want to go over some things. This ain't going to be too long of a video. Just want to give you some updates on what's going on with crypto and Bitcoin, and let's jump into it here. Alright, so we are above that 2.5 trillion market cap. Bitcoin actually hit 67,000 yesterday, so it's been moving up pretty good. And I said once we get above that 50-day EMA and the daily time frame, that, you know, we're looking pretty good for that. And it flipped, you know, like I said, it flipped kind of like a long signal, so we'll jump into that here. So if you look at the chart, I got it on the daily here, and we're well above this 20 and 50-day EMA, and this one here flipped towards like a long for Bitcoin, and that's when, you know, right when it flipped here is when we shot up, is what we kind of expected would happen here once we flipped and got above this here. So this is a good sign that we could keep pushing up from here. Hopefully that's the case, and we continue to be bullish. We really need to get above this 70,000 mark. It looks like we're on our way up there. If hopefully we don't get rejected off that level, and hopefully we can make that our support level and make the next leg up from there. If we go to the weekly time frame here, you know, we are above this yellow, I think that's the 20-day EMA, and then we still got to get above this blue one here, the 50-day moving average. So if we can get above there, and it looks like we're above it right now, but if we can stay above that and, you know, make our support above that level, then, you know, then I think we're going to take off and really take the next leg up here with Bitcoin. So hopefully we can do that, but right now things are looking bullish in the market, and it's funny how it can change so fast from kind of a bearish outlook to a bullish outlook. So, you know, you just got to be prepared for both scenarios because you really don't know for sure. So, you know, keep that in mind here. We could go either way, but right now we're looking pretty bullish. It looks like we're going to maybe take the next leg up here, and I'm hoping that's what happens. Now we'll jump into this article here, and this is by Forbes, and it says a leak reveals that an ETF perfect storm could be headed towards Bitcoin after 6 trillion Fed inflation flip unleashed a crypto price boom. And I'm going to read you this article and tell you their opinion on it, and then I'm going to read another article by Coinbase, and then I'm going to read you kind of a contradicting information. I'm going to show you a video here that can kind of contradict this so you guys can get both sides of this, because you don't want to just take everything for granted in one or two person's opinion. You want to get both scenarios so you get the full picture of what's going on here. So this says Bitcoin suddenly shot higher, climbing with the latest U.S. inflation data showing the price pressure has resumed its downward trend. The Bitcoin price has topped 65,000 for the first time since early May as traders ramp up their bets. The Federal Reserve will soon declare victory on its war on inflation and cut interest rates. So they're thinking that, you know, the Fed could cut interest rates, and that could kick off a bull run here. I'm going to play you a video and explain to you why that may not be the case. So I'll show you that here in just a minute. Ahead of the key inflation data that sent Ethereum, XRP, and the wider crypto market higher, one Bitcoin investor predicted there's $6 trillion in cash on the sidelines that could power the Bitcoin price to $150,000 this year, calling the latest Bitcoin bull run still early. And I do agree that we're still early overall. But as far as $150,000 this year, I'm very, very, very skeptical that that will happen. I could see us maybe hitting 100,000 by the end of this year, but anything can happen in crypto. So it is possible for this to happen, but I would not count on that. So Tom Lee here says Bitcoin is still in an early in the upcycle, and I guess he's the Global Advisors managing partner and head of research for Fundstrat. He said this is the idea that it can get to 150,000 this year is still within our case. The latest monthly U.S. Consumer Price Index data showed the pace of inflation in the U.S. eased slightly in April, rising 0.3% versus 0.4% in March, and against economic forecast of 0.4%. I think it does help that the Fed is reiterating its view on inflation, and it's being relatively more dovish than where the market is. He's also saying there's a lot of pent-up demand and capital waiting for Bitcoin to be purchased, so we'll have to see if this is true or not. This article here by the block.co it says Coinbase says the market is underestimating the timing and odds of a spot ETF approval. And so there's like a very slim chance in the odds that they're saying that ETF will get approved. They're saying it's probably not going to get approved for Ethereum. But some other people are saying, no, I think the odds are much, much higher than most people are expecting, and it's likely to get approved yet this year. So Coinbase analyst David Hahn said the market may be underestimating the timing and odds of a potential spot Ethereum ETF approval, and he says it leaves surprises for an upside with no major sources of a supply side overhang. And he's saying that basically that the Ethereum exchange traded fund approvals have they're basically underestimating the chances of approval with it, and despite the market consensus that it won't happen anytime soon. So the SEC has, basically key deadlines coming up on May 23rd and 24th to decide whether to approve the applications for the Ethereum ETFs for Van Eck and ARK Invest 21 shares respectively. Expectations of approval this month have declined considerably, with the Bloomberg ETF describing the odds of approval as slim to none amid the SEC's apparent silence with issuers. So there's kind of both sides of it. Some think it's going to get approved this month. Some think the chances are extremely low. And this person thinks that the odds are higher than most people think and that it could likely happen. We'll see. We're not far away from that. We're about a week away from those dates. So we'll see if it gets approved in May or not. If not, it can get pushed out even further. So we'll have to see what happens with this. So I want to play this video here. This is Clear Tax Value. He's got some interesting videos, and he's basically got the opinion that, it's not likely that the Fed is going to lower interest rates anytime soon. So I'm going to play you a clip of this video, and he's going to explain to you why he thinks that. He's kind of a market analyst, and he's got some interesting information. So I want you guys to get both sides of it, so you're not thinking, yeah, we're going to lower interest rates and we're going to take off into a big bull run. This guy here is going to explain why he thinks it's probably not going to happen, at least not right now.
Today's a very important day because the newest CPI inflation report was released this morning. And if you want the Federal Reserve to start cutting interest rates in June, then this report had to come in phenomenal. So basically a miracle was needed, right? Today, that miracle was not given. So basically, the Federal Reserve is not going to cut interest rates in June. So the odds of that happening have fallen to 3.1%. It was at 3.3% yesterday. So this is coming from the CME Fed Watch tool. So I want to give you a summary. Here's what happens. This CPI inflation report shows that headline inflation is at 3.4%. So that is better than the previous 3.5%. But listen, I want you to be aware of this. We're at 3.4% now, but we were at 3.1% in January. So at best, you could say that we're just spinning our wheels here, or inflation may still be reaccelerating and it just took a pause for this month. Regardless, this is not going to give the Federal Reserve the confidence that they were looking for to start cutting interest rates in June. And that's why you see the odds where they're at. They're close to 0%, so it's just not going to happen, not in June. Now, I want to give you the full picture. So the Federal Reserve likes to use core inflation. So this strips out food and energy inflation. So I want you to check this out. Core inflation has improved from 3.8% the prior month to 3.6%, so that's good. However, if you think about it, that's still way above their 2% targets. And another thing is that I see this as very slow progress because it's taken 8 months for core inflation to fall by 0.5%. So at this pace, it's going to take longer than 2 years to get inflation down to their 2% target. So listen, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be very sincere with you about this. So this report just came out this morning. So I don't know how the media is going to spin this. I don't know what they're going to say about this report. I would say that my honest opinion about this report is it's not terrible, but then again, it's definitely not a great report. It's somewhere in between. Like if I had to give this a review out of 5 stars, I would give this report a 3 out of 5-star review.
So I'll leave his video in here. He's got a really good channel. I recommend that you watch him. He's got all kinds of different financial stuff that he kind of covers, and stuff with the interest rates and loans and you know, how much you can afford for a home or vehicle and stuff like that. He's got some great information, so you can check out his channel. I'll leave the link for it in the description below. But, you know, he's got another picture of it as, you know, everybody's kind of running with this thinking that we're going to lower interest rates coming up here shortly. And he's saying, no, that the odds of that are actually like 3%, which is really low. And so if that doesn't happen, we may not get that huge push that everybody's expecting. You know, so just, you know, don't get too bullish on the market right now. But Bitcoin is doing phenomenal. And right now it's looking good, regardless of what the market or the interest rates are saying. So, you know, it doesn't mean we won't go into a bull run because of this. So far, you know, we've had this inflation issue for the last year, and look at where we've come with Bitcoin. It doesn't seem to be really impacting Bitcoin too much. So I wouldn't stress about it too much. But when they do lower interest rates, there's also a theory out there that we get a market crash right after the interest rates are lowered, because that's what's happened in the past. So we'll have to see, and not necessarily with crypto. I'm talking about the market as a whole, so stock market and stuff like that. So doesn't mean that'll happen with crypto. So, you know, just kind of keep that in mind. I just want to mention that. They call it like when the Fed pauses interest rates and they start to lower them, we get some kind of typical market crash after that, and we kind of go into like a recession. So we'll have to see what happens here. It's going to be interesting to watch how this plays out. Market's really funky and strange right now. All I know is Bitcoin is doing good right now, and as long as Bitcoin's doing good, our portfolios are looking good. So we'll hang in there and see what happens, and we'll just have to react to whatever happens here. Hopefully Bitcoin gets on a good support level above our previous all-time high from the last bull run. If we can make an all-time high from the last bull run below our support level, that'd be fantastic, because that means likely we'll take off for the next leg up here, and hopefully we'll push into 85K with Bitcoin if that happens. But we don't know what's going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's pretty much what I wanted to cover for this video, guys. I don't have a whole lot for you today. There's not a lot going on in the markets right now, and I didn't want to cover any projects in this video. I got a really busy weekend this weekend working on my house, so I didn't have a lot of information to put into this video because I've been working nights and days this week, so it's been kind of a crazy week for me. But I really appreciate all of you for watching my channel. Make sure you hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps get this video out to more viewers. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video.